well, fortunately I'm on the play for game 3, which is always a plus for mono red. And this is definitely a keepable hand. Turn 1, I think I just pop him in the face with Chain Lightning and then follow it up with either an Elemental or an Ember Hauler. Yeah, I use my Chain Lightning usually as liberally as possible. I don't really like holding it. I don't like holding sorcery speed removal very often when you're playing super beatdown aggro. I'd rather just attack his life total. Alright, I could go with the Maniac, but I do want to play one of my 2-drops here. I can just go with the basic mountain and throw out an Ember Hauler. Because even if he plays a blocker, I'm still getting in with Hellspark Elemental because I can kill whatever he plays with Ember Hauler. Alright, he does have a 2-drop, Void Mage Prodigy, which is fine. So I could sack my Ember Hauler before combat to kill his Prodigy, but I really don't care if he blocks my Hellspark Elemental because it's going to die anyway. He's only preventing 1 damage. So yeah. Getting a little bit of lag once again. So yeah, just hopefully MTGO rights itself. Let's give it a minute. Alright, there we go. I had to reboot my game once again. I'll play my Elemental. Hopefully he doesn't force a will it. Yeah, we'll just attack with both. I'm okay with trading with Ember Hauler because it's the same thing as just sacking it, but I don't have to pay the mana. I could also have sacked it before combat to ping him for 2. Alright, I'll take my Stomping Ground in case I do draw my Bloodbraid Elf. And I'll play the Maniac. Hopefully drawing a land for Ruin Blaster next turn so I can kill his Watery Grave or something. So it's looking like he might be stuck on 2 life. Yeah, because he goes Baleful Strix before playing a land, which could just be him trying to telegraph something to me, but now he does have the land. And I'm really hoping for a land so I can kick the Ruin Blaster, and indeed I do. So yep, I'm definitely kicking that. Giving him the option to trade with Baleful Strix, but don't really care, because I have an Inferno Titan coming up pretty soon here. Hoping to draw like Magma Jet or something now at this point. Lagging once again, trying to put my triggered ability on the stack, but there it goes. Yeah, we're getting in for 2 for sure, possibly 4, depending on what he wants to do with his Strix. Alright, so finally MTGO decides to let me go to combat, and we'll get in there with our 4 mana 2/1 and our 1 mana 2/1. You should have probably killed the other one, let the Tattermunge Maniac be, because now I could choose not to attack with the Ruin Blaster. Alright, so I only need 1 more land for Inferno Titan. And I accidentally clicked to attack with the Ruin Blaster, and then basically, long story short, I tried to undo the attack, but MTGO lagged out, and I clicked OK when it was set to attack, and that was really not what I wanted to do. But luckily for me, he thought I had some kind of trick, so he just took the damage. He didn't want to lose his Infiltrator, which I guess I can't blame him with, but he's still stuck on land, which means that his Shadow Mage is going to be very good, drawing him that extra card a turn. Alright, he gets kind of a land with Mox Jet, and a regular land, so yeah, that was very good for him. And he kills my Ruin Blaster, which is fine. Now I really want to land, because his board's starting to get kind of scary. Alright, lucky for me, we get a land. We'll go ahead and kill his Infiltrator. I can choose to kill a Skinrunner later, but definitely don't want him to have that extra card. And I'm okay with just taking 3 damage from the render next turn. I'm not going to risk any kind of tricks or anything you might have. Yeah, he does have things like Ultimate Price and probably several other ways to get rid of big dudes like Inferno Titan. He goes with Consecrated Sphinx, which is very good. See if we draw anything good, like Bloodbraid. Frenzied Goblin is fine, but unfortunately doesn't have haste. Yeah, we'll just get in, kill his Skin Render before blockers, and he's going to have to chump with Sphinx to stay alive. So we're in very good shape, even though he does have 5 cards in hand. Yeah, if my Inferno Titan survives his next turn, it's pretty much game over. So even if he plays a blocker, he's not going to be able to use it because of Frenzied Goblin. Here he goes with the Mox, so if he does play Storm, he is going to have a chance to go off here. He has plenty of mana to do so, certainly, and plenty of cards. So he scries, draws, and he does have the removal spell. Underground River comes down, and a Pristine Talisman, which is going to be very tough to race. So yeah, basically the number one thing I'm hoping for right now is like Sulfuric Vortex so I can race his Talisman. Alright, and that's not going to help at all. So I'll just get in for 1, which he can't block, and hope. He only has 1 card in hand now, which is very good for me. But he does have the Talisman going, and the Grave Robber as well, if it manages to flip, which it probably won't. Hopefully he doesn't play something like Tormod's Crypt or something like that. There's Inquisition, which isn't going to hit anything. Probably wasn't the play there anyway, because if I had a sorcery speed 3 mana or less thing, I would have played it certainly pre-combat, or before his turn. So it's like Lightning Mauler, I guess, possibly. And he just reminded me that I totally forgot about my Hellspark Elemental after all the craziness that was going on this game, so another misplay on my part that I hope doesn't come back to haunt me. He plays a Memory Jar, which is very good when you have 0 cards in hand. But we just drew the number 1 card, possibly, for us. So I'll just play out my land, because there's no reason not to. He knows what it is. I'll play my Bloodbraid. And we get the number 1 card that I wanted to get, which is Vortex. Which means I'm going to attack him to 6, and then he's going to go to 4 from the Sulfuric Vortex. Or rather, I'm going to get him to 5, because I'm attacking for 4. Yep, no reason to use the mana on Frenzied Goblin, because obviously he can't block with a tapped creature, but in case he like flashed in something, you never know. Actually, it wouldn't really matter, because I couldn't do it if he flashed it in after the trigger happens. But yeah, he'll go to 5 from the Vortex. And Memory Jar is actually not going to be super great for him, because I have a bunch of low drop damage stuff that I could draw into and potentially kill him, although it's unlikely. See what he chooses to do though. He morphs a creature and then sacks his Memory Jar. And very unfortunately for him, I drew into lethal damage. So I'm just going to wait and hopefully he taps out so I can... I don't want to run into a counter spell. Like the Force Spike would actually stop me pretty well here. But I do want to try to kill him. Preferably at the end of my turn. We'll see what happens. He has 6 mana to work with. He can't currently gain life of the Talisman, but he's certainly going to try. He goes Fencer, and it looks like he's going to try to bounce my Vortex, which means I'm going to have to go for it now and hope he doesn't have the Force of Will or something. Although he did tap out of all his blue, which means he can't Force Spike. So I'll Magma Jet him, and I'll Scry just in case things don't go as planned. I'll just obviously put both mountains on the bottom because I have plenty of mana. Wait for him to let it resolve, and then bolt him in the face. Yep, so that was a very unfortunate Memory Jar for him, but luckily, despite our misplays, we managed to get there just barely, and we'll go on to game 2.